He won't be needing these anymore. They did their job. Or did they?
Beverly, I took a paddle boat and ventured forth towards the final frontier of this region, a forlorn swamp of ancient origin. On my way, I came across the mortal shell of a lost wanderer. Whether he was led astray by a wisp or fell victim to this region's mythical beast, the Hook Elf, remains a mystery to be disentangled. I can only hope to be spared of such misfortune.
I can't reach them from here. Mushrooms. Look how they shimmer. Oh, I'm... Locked.
Ahoy.
You fixed the boat! How can I ever thank you?
Don't worry about it.
No, I insist. Please take this as a symbol of my appreciation.
This postcard will help me find my way around. Thanks. Hans...
Truda?
Professor, you look radiant today. Anything out of the ordinary?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
You may call off the police.
How come?
I've got my notes back.
But the inspector is already on his way.
Then just call him off in person if he's early.
As you wish.
Would you mind looking for my real deposit?
Come again?
My massage rod.
Your what?
Never mind. I would like to ask you something.
Oh yes, of course.
What can you tell me about your brother?
He's a drunkard. He's also not the most reliable type of person, if that counts as a feat. As you see, he's just left me here alone with all this work that needs to be done.
Can you give me a description?
Should you run into him, is that why you are asking? Tall grown, beardy type, red nose, always wearing those yellow rubber boots. Why do you want to know?
I think I may have met him. I found his mortal remains out there in the mire. I'm sorry.
Are you sure?
My condolences.
Oh, Heinz. Poor old Heinz. Rest in peace. Can't say I'm really surprised. Thank you very much. I will inform the inspector immediately. At least he didn't take the long trip for nothing then.
I would like to ask,
Oh yes, of course.
does the name
Haft. Oh yes, indeed. Doppelkopf player. If you ask me, he's a sham. Ripped my guests off to the last penny. Shady type. You better not get involved with him.
Oh, I think I already... well... Ah, never mind. I'll be leaving then.
Make...
Locked. I've already made an entry on... Let's see if he had anything on him. Only if it helps to clear his identity, of course. An old rusty key. Ahoy! Perfect fit.
Beverly, I have unearthed the gate to a sealed crypt, the cellar of this lodge. My descent begins. This is what Professor Lidenbrock must have felt when he climbed down the Snæfellsjökull.
I can hardly see a thing. How are you holding up?
Don't worry about it.
About the quantum discriminator.
Yes?
I totally lost track. What was it I was looking for again?
Take a look at these plans, will you? We need a power source as strong as possible. If this was my dimension, I'd recommend using one of those handy 90,000 volt batteries. I'm afraid that's not an option.
Whew. That's a lot of juice we're needing.
We do need a particle accelerator as well. Has to be small enough to fit in there.
A brown tube, maybe? From a TV set?
Could work.
I just had an idea.
An interface to control the device. Get creative on that. A keyboard, buttons, any kind of interface.
I understand.
And a really potent coolant. It's going to burst if you can't keep the temperature low.
What do you have in mind?
Water won't do. Think of something.
Okay, I'll be back soon. How are you holding up?
Don't...
So you really are from another dimension, right?
I was fleeing. I just stepped through the portal and crashed here.
Fleeing?
There were bad things happening back home. And as soon as I stumbled out of the portal, those really wicked scientists got hold of me. They sure love their tests. You really don't want to mess with them.
I think I met them too.
I escaped, went undercover, and since then, tried to find a solution to finally get home. Which is where you come into play.
This is so incredible. All my calculations, all my predictions. It's going to take years of studies to understand. I always thought parallel universes and different realities were a predictable possibility. But this, I don't even know where to begin.
Don't worry, you know it in theory.
How did you escape?
Through the door, when they weren't watching.
What were you fleeing from? In your dimension, I mean.
Someone blew up our planet. I would rather not talk about it.
How did you manage to hide all this time?
I made a small fortune playing a card game they fancy here. Doppelkopf.
With nines or without?
Look at that. Without, of course. That's not really what it's all about, though.
The old trumps.
I had never given the concept of money much of a thought before. I believed it was a rather crazy idea. But I certainly do know how to play. With that money I went into hiding. Slowly disintegrating, trying to find a way back home.
Really? That's it? End of story? All that jazz? The money? The need to get back home? And you just went into hiding?
Sort of.
An ectoplasm interference oscillator. An ectoplasm... That's a prototype of the Valentine. A gift from a friend. An empty jar. A hyperlogic coupler. A couple of self-sealing stem bolts. The streetlight is flickering unsteadily. Typical case of light pollution. I can hardly see a thing. Light the way, my friends. Truberbrook Pilsen beer. Export. For the stout. Truberbrook's finest dry yeast. How am I to synthesize alcohol with this? How? Malt? It's a recipe for Bolzenschuss Schnapp, top secret. Let's see. Fruit, add malt, add yeast, season with a pinch of slumber morel. Dead simple. Ahoy. Home is where the heart is.
Look who we've got here.
I see you're making good use of those boots.
These boots are made for walking. Thanks again.
My pleasure.
You're looking a bit pale, if I may say so. Here, have one of these. They always work for me.
Vitamin pills?
Si, claro. They get the juices flowing and make you look gorgeous. All based on herbal essences.
Thanks.
I have to be going.
I've already made... I found a
These fruits are mine to pick up.
I can probably walk on water with this.
Ahoy.